footage that you're about to see, much of it was shot 60 some years ago by my dad with his 8mm film camera. And it features my dad's side of the family, including my grandmother, uncles and aunts, cousins, and especially the Clue DiGirolamo family. This one's going out to both Walter Jr. and Michelle. Hope you enjoy it. Brings back a lot of good memories from me when I came along soon after. And let me know what you think.
Oh, there she is again. Mom and Grandma George. Grandma George looks good there. I don't know what car they're sitting on. I have no idea. So I got the yellow convertible. I don't know who he bought it from, but it was black market all the way. And there's Flo and Grandma George on Delsey Drive at Grandma's house. Of course, Flo was living with her at the time because she was divorced. And there's Uncle Vinny and Grandma George. This is one of Daddy's older brothers. And there's Flo and myself. And of course, on Delsey Drive, as usual, that's where Grandma lived. Now we're coming down Delsey Drive, and I'm driving, and I think there's Floria in front with me with Grandma George, and we're waving, of course. And you wouldn't know Delsey Drive now from there, which this is about, 45 years ago. So it's a lot different. Now we picked up the two nieces, Reba and Dolores. Now, Reba's deceased. Dolores is a bank secretary or vice president or something, but she's still living in Woodbury, but we're still on the Delsey Drive here at Grandma George's house.
Who's on the left?
Dolores is on the left, and Reba is on the right, and I guess we're quite the group here, but we were spending the day at Grandma George's. And everybody came to see Grandma on Sundays usually, whether they wanted to. Oh, at Delsey we're back. Drive. We only had the one car at the time, yes. Now here's Connie DiGirolamo, a cousin George, and Louis, and that's Aunt Alice. There's Louis, and there's Uncle Clue, who is another brother of your dad's. There's Grandma George and Tony, who is bald-headed, Uncle Clue, myself, my mother, Aunt Alice and the baby, and Uncle Clue and Louis. Louis is now living in Winona, has a very lovely wife, and they have 4 children. 2 are married and 2 are still home. And Connie, of course, is deceased, and so is Aunt Alice. But she put in a pretty rough time. Connie died very young, too young, in fact. But I think it was probably an auto accident that preceded the thing, and the poor baby never did come through it. And there's my mother and Grandma George taking a walk, too. My mother didn't even have her hair done then. I think it was just after we lost my father, because my children never did get to see my father, never did meet their grandfather. And of course, on Dad's side, we never did meet the grandfather. I never did myself. All I had was pictures to remind me of what he looked like or so. And this is the family walking again. Tony is quite bald. And there's Dad, of course, with the physique. Of course, muscle bound. Clue has a pillow in his shirt, if you notice. That's why he's being banged on. My mother-in-law, Nikki, lighting a cigar, Nick Conicello, and Wanda. And, of course, Floria again. Here's Tony. I guess she was, about 6 or 7 months old. And there's Uncle Londy with Aunt Lottie. And there's Grandma George, and there's Clue. And there's Alice. And let's see who else we can find here. Yeah, just about made it in. There's Londy, George, Clue, and Broadway Joe, who of course had a great time at George's wedding, but we won't go into that. Poor soul, rest his soul in peace. Joe Valentino. And this is Grandma with Linda. Linda was the star of the day, I think. They were, although I'm not sure. I don't think they'd come to the christening dressed like that. No, can't be.